Hey everybody, how's your evening/day going whenever you're seeing
That's
this?
right.
Um,
Bye.
so Patti and I this is our first night to do our Coast to Coast Reiki Chat, where Patti is in New York and I'm in California, in Los Angeles. And our topic tonight is, what is Reiki? So we thought that that's probably the best place to start. You know, it's probably the most common question that we ever get asked. And it's a big question to answer.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's surprisingly kind of tough to answer. When you explain it in words, it really doesn't do it justice, but we can't physically show you what it is, so we're going to do our best to try to explain it. And obviously our goal with this video series is it's basically to help you understand it, you to really get comfortable with it, really. You know, both Patti and I want to introduce it to everybody that we know, and in a way that people feel very comfortable with it and don't see it as kind of a odd woo-woo-y type thing. You know, it's something that just is very much a common part of our lives. And you know, now for me, especially meditating with animals, you know, when we do Reiki, the way that we learned it through Kathleen Prasad and the Let Animals Lead method of animal Reiki that we learned is it's basically like a mindfulness meditation with animals. And so I personally, at least, see Reiki as an opportunity for me to meditate with an animal or with another human being. But it's kind of a meditation space experience that you build together, and then healing comes from that. So I'm going to let Patti, and I'm going to let Patti take a stab at just answering that very big question. What is Reiki? Because she's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and with more people and animals that I have. So
no, you made a really good point there, because when you first start explaining what it is and what you feel, it does make it sound way out there, kind of woo-woo, like you said, which might turn some people off before they even give it a try and see how amazing it is and how it makes you feel. So simply put, it's a Japanese technique. It's a form of meditation that creates a sense of deep relaxation in the body. And when the body's relaxed, it can heal, right? Because that's where all healing takes place, when we're in a relaxed state, a calm state, a state of inner peace. The word Reiki itself, Rei, is spiritual, spirit, and Ki is energy. You know, you've heard of it's Ki in Japanese, it's Chi, right, in Chinese, prana, Indian, but it's all from the same source of energy, the same source that powers the sun, that makes our hearts beat, that makes plants grow. It's life force energy, right? It's not a religion. It's based on the energy that makes all things grow and breathe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of takes the woo-woo effect out of it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then I was just going to say, so that's really what the word means, but the system of Reiki is a practice, just as acupuncture has its own system, right? Yoga has a system of meditations. And when we teach Reiki, we come from a system, a place with specific meditations and other steps that we do during a healing session. When I practice with people, it's very different than with animals. And it's so funny, because animals were not my focus when I first learned Reiki. You know, it was more of a self-help thing I was looking for anxiety. I think we're going to talk about that in another week. Yeah. Anxiety with a lot of food allergies and things like that. But as people, we always want to we want to fix, we want to help, right? And so the practice of Reiki, it's more of a Western form. First, I should go back and just say it was founded by Mikao Usui, right, in the early 19th century.
And he's a Japanese man, for anybody who doesn't know who he is or know that Reiki comes from Japan.
Right.
He founded it. He's a Japanese man. So it originally came from Japan.
Right. Yeah, it was a Japanese form for healing. And through the lineage, you know, a lot of it was oral teaching. Hand positions were developed. A system was developed so people could understand what they were going to, you know, in a healing session. So it's very much something that, you know, a lot of times I'll explain to my client, you know, you're going to lay down on the table. Is it okay if I do put my hands on your head or your shoulders? Or would you rather have all hands off? It works just as well either way. I kind of tell them what they might experience, feel. And I just tell them to just relax and clear your mind, you know. And then when animals come into the picture, it was so funny. I too was taught obviously by Kathleen Prasad. And what I noticed was when I was practicing like self-healing sessions on myself, I had my dog was always interested. My dog would always come into the room, would sit nearby. More so than if I said, come here, Jasmine, you know, I want to do a healing session on you. Sit here. Mommy's going to put her hands, you know, and explain what I'm doing to her. It wasn't as effective as when I was just practicing the meditations with myself. She would always wander into the space or the room or want to be on my lap, you know. And so I started Googling around to see if anybody else experienced this. And that's how I kind of came across Kathleen and her method of the Let Animals Lead. And it just made total sense for me. And, you know, it was explained. I mean, animals live on such an energetic level already, right? They know when we're happy. They know when we're sad. They're always present. And so when we practice with that Let Animals Lead method, it's allowing the animals to connect with us. It's a different form of meditation. We invite the animals into the space. They're our teachers. And we give them the choice to participate or not, you know. And I mean, you could probably attest to that too. It's just so amazing, the difference when you can come from a place like that, you know. And the animals have taught me so much, like, you know, you think I need healing.
Right.
So I'm going to show you how to calm down, right?
Right. Yeah.
And connect.
You know, it's interesting because you were talking about the hand positions, and I think one thing that I always think is really interesting to tell people to try is with another human being around you. Like if you put your two hands together, or if you just like touch their arm, any amount of anything where you touch each other and you just pause for a minute, you can start to feel that energy flow. You'll start to feel it warm up. You'll start to feel that energy flow. And I think, you know, the Reiki where we learn the different hand positions, and if you hear someone talking about a Reiki session that they're doing human to human, it sounds odd, but with the hand positions, I feel like it's a cool way that you can try it on your own. Feeling against your own body, you can too, but I think it's cool when you feel that energy exchange with somebody else by just like putting your hands together, or, you know, hand on an arm or something like that. You can start to feel that energy that we're talking about, that you're working on kind of tuning into.
Right. And that's really a good point too, because this isn't something that as a teacher, I'm going to give to you, you know. If you come to my class, I'm going to give you this energy so now you can share it with somebody else. This is something that we all have. But the system of Reiki and the practice of Reiki, just the more we practice self-healing, right, we can get in touch with those feelings of energy. You're more aware of it. Right. And that's where, you know, you get in touch with your true self, you know, and that's where all the deepest connections are made. Yeah. So it is hard to explain, like you say. A lot of times I'll just say to someone, you know, if you have 5 minutes, have a seat and I'll share some Reiki with you, you know. Sometimes it's better to like show by example. But yeah, it's, you know, if you come across a teacher that says they're going to give you something, give you energy, that you've never had before, run. You know,
Right.
run.
There are some out there, you know.
Yeah, there are some out there, you know. It's really important to find a teacher that you can connect with. So what you and I teach is just really learning how to quiet our mind enough.
Yeah.
And through meditation, through the practices that we teach, you know, it's going within and learning, you know, with our visualizations and things like that, to quiet the mind and to connect on a deeper level.
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I think we've kind of explained it. I mean, one thing that Patti and I have talked about with this is we want to try to keep these videos as short as we can, which is not going to be like the natural strength of either Patti or me. But we also both know that we listen to stuff that is pretty short because it's, you know, you're squeezing it into the day. So I think we're gonna, for the most part, leave it at this. But we want to hear what questions you all have, because that's how we can help you better understand it. Because we could talk about this for an hour and a half or 2 hours, but I'd rather understand a little better, like, what is it, what questions do you have, and then we can answer specifically those things on the next one. So yeah, I would like to just add, though, I do have a Reiki 1 class coming up if anyone is interested. It's the weekend of October 19th and 20th. It's at the beautiful Southlands Foundation in Rhinebeck. It's a horse riding facility, and it's a really nice classroom, and so we practice sharing Reiki with the horses. Really? And yeah, and have the class right there. So what town or city in New York is that? It's in Rhinebeck, New York, in the beautiful Hudson Valley, and you can see, you can find out more information on my website, and we'll have all the contact information, I think, listed below through Facebook and through Instagram. I have the you know, the class information up there, but perfect. Yeah, and there's still room in the class, so. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah. So so bear with us, guys, as we kind of figure these out, and we may be back on Facebook Live next week. We're not sure. It did not go well for us tonight. We'll keep recording. We'll keep recording till we figure out this technology. Right. So I was able to get myself on there. I was not able to get Patti on there. So if anyone knows how to remedy that, please let me know. All right. We persevered and found a way. Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys. We're actually planning to be back next week. So with another topic, which will be talking about our backgrounds and what got us into Reiki. So. Right. All right. Talk to you later. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Or good morning. Or, yeah, whenever you're watching. All right. Bye.